So let's go ahead and start treating this vocal.
Let go!
The compression here.
Let go!
Let's find a section here.
Everything's not as it seems! Everything's not as it seems!
Really trying to control it and be able to take this vocal and have it consistently sit across this bed of music that's already kind of very loud and dense with all the guitar and the drums and everything. So yeah, the vocal's very compressed. So we're gonna go ahead and do some EQ. I really like the Softube Active Equalizer. First thing we're gonna do is, there's some information in here.
If everything's not as it seems, if everything's
somewhere around the 100 area, I usually like to take some of that out. It's just a little too much low end. It's not really needed. There's the bass guitar and the drums sort of take up that area, and we don't want to overcrowd that. Another thing I like to do, just to get a little more sibilance, we'll take 15K and bump it up, maybe like 4. Sometimes I'll do 6 dB, just to get a little bit more of that air in there. And we're gonna roll it off at 80 Hertz. Here's what that sounds like.
If everything's not as it seems,
and here's that without.
If everything's not as it seems, if everything's not as it seems.
So we're getting a lot of high end now. We're gonna tame that in a little bit, but this is good enough for me for now. I actually am seeing that we're clipping here, so I'm probably gonna go over to my vocal group. We'll turn that down a little bit. See if that does it.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive.
Okay, great. So let's move on. Another thing that I really like to do with vocals, especially screaming vocals, is good old Decapitator. Add some distortion to the vocal. There's actually a great preset in here to build off of that I like. It's the Classic Rock Vocals 2. And that kind of starts to get it in a spot that I like.
Let go of all that you.
That's a little intense, so what I like to do actually is go further with it, hit the punish knob. Now this would be crazy to actually use. The idea, again, dramatic moves, but then take the dry and wet knob like Carson's been doing with the drums.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go.
And here's it bypassed.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive.
A lot more aggressive.
Yeah, we're getting that grit in there and really taking the vocal to another level of, I mean, it's a screaming vocal, so you want it to sound intense.
It gives it teeth. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. Great way to say it.
Teeth.
Teeth.
So yeah, I usually like to have that somewhere around there. Another plugin that I really like for vocals is the Chris Lord Algae Vocals. Again, I think even with all of these off, I think there's actually a preset in here called Zool. Yeah, that is just the EQ curve of this plugin, so I'll bypass it.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you.
So it's subtle, but it's definitely doing a little something. One of the
It's interesting that you guys both like this plugin. Well, I mean the CLA like vocals and bass. I've always thought they were good, and I think it's interesting when they first came out. I remember that people hated on them a lot. They were like, it's a plugin that takes the engineering out of the engineering. It just does it for you, which I think is bullshit. But like over the years, I think it started to get a lot of respect because it just, they sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the best, if not, you know, the best in the business. Extremely well-respected, great engineer, and I think he makes great plugins.
I agree completely.
So, I mean, I'm already, you know, using his 1176 plugin and now this one on the vocals. I think they sound great. So, I like to use quick reverb and delay, so I'm going to go with the tight and the slap just to kind of get a little more air out of the vocal, as well as just some basic sub and bite. I might actually boost this just a tiny bit.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go.
Out.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive.
So yeah, we're really starting to add a lot of character from all these different plugins. So one of the next things that I'd like to do, since we're exciting everything so much and hyping up this high end, I want to get a de-esser in here and try to tame a little bit of that sibilance.
Let go of all that you perceive.
It's actually a good spot.
All that you perceive. All that you perceive. All that you perceive. All that you.
So it might be obnoxious listening to things on a loop like that, but I often do that when I'm mixing because I feel like I can hear the difference that the plugin's making and then make adjustments if necessary. So this plugin, or this preset, Male DSHF, is kind of a go-to for me. It just does exactly what I need it to do.
All that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems.
Cool. So I think we've got more exciting sounding vocal now. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. The only thing I might do now is just quickly go in, just try to take a little bit of the edge off of the low and the high that have been added in here. Start there.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems.
Cool, let's bypass that.
Let go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems. Go of all that you perceive. Everything's not as it seems.
Cool. I'm pretty happy with that.